Good morning, everybody. Oh, that worked. Hi. Hi. Great. I'm Margaret Honey, and I run the New York Hall of Science, where you all are. Did you know that? You're at the Hall of Science? So we couldn't be happier to have the Make team back and be hosting the first East Coast MakerCon event and the 5th World Maker Faire event here at NYSCI. How many of you are coming back for the weekend? Lots of you. Everybody. Yay. That's great. I know the Make team calls it the greatest show and tell on earth. I call it New York's happiest event because that's what it feels like to me. So just a few brief remarks. You know, I'm often asked, particularly by my colleagues in the Science Center field, like, Margaret, what makes your partnership with Make work? And I realize part of what underlies that question is their sort of amazement that we welcome, 100,000 people here over the course of the weekend, and we all think it's awesome and it couldn't be better. And they sort of think about that happening in their own museums and feel slightly nervous. But we love it. But I've often said that what makes our partnership with Dale and the entire Make team work is a kind of shared sensibility. And I think, the most wonderful thing about the Maker movement and all of the work that you all and the speakers today are involved in is that, it's all about testing the edges of convention. And there couldn't be anything more important. And here at NYSCI, we really embrace that, and we do it in a particular way. We do it through kind of strategies of engagement that we call design, make, play. And make, of course, sits very much at the center of that work. But what our work is all about, and it focuses primarily on young people, is empowering their imaginations, giving them the capacity to create, to think in new and different ways, giving them that all-important sense of efficacy. I can do that. I think, so many of us and so many young people continue to have experiences in school that kind of shut that down. Although there are lots of educators who want to make schools work differently, and we work with them, we embrace them. But we really want to create an environment where kids get to do the kind of creative thinking routinely that you see alive and well and flourishing in the Maker community. So it's that sensibility that I think has made our partnership with Dale and the entire Make team really flourish. And it's why we love having you all here, and we are going to welcome the hopefully 100,000 people that come visit us over the course of the weekend. So you're going to have a great day and a great evening, and I'm going to turn the podium over to Dale. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the first East Coast MakerCon. And Travis, come on up with me. My co-chair is Travis Good, who's done a lot of work putting the program together, and we're very excited to see all of you prior to what I hope will be an amazing weekend. that all of you probably regard as a bit of work. But I hope this is a little bit more fun for you, engaging and inspiring. You know, last year we had the Hardware Innovation Workshop here, and prior to that we've had the Open Hardware Workshop for a couple years here. And this year, MakerCon is an umbrella, I guess. Initially, the Hardware Innovation Workshop, we wanted to kind of put a focus on people who are what we call maker pros, developing products. And I think we've been pretty successful at seeing that develop. And I wanted to be sure, though, by framing MakerCon, that we weren't just about the economic opportunity for us here, that something much bigger was happening with the maker movement. And at the heart of it, I think all of us are exploring a certain creative freedom we have today to create and make things and do things that you know, come out of our own head and that we can prototype and share with other people. And it leads to certain things like some people developing products, but I think it also has other kinds of impacts. It has civic impacts. It has educational impacts. And in many ways, you know, at the heart of the maker movement is its impact on a community. I had the privilege of Saturday, I went to the Orlando Maker Faire in Orlando, Florida, and to see the state of Florida coming and how many maker spaces were there representing Tampa or Miami or Palm Beach or Fort Lauderdale or Melbourne. And then on Sunday was the Silver Spring Maker Faire in Maryland, and it was out a very different feel out on a kind of civic plaza, and it was open to everybody in town. Very much often kid-oriented and a lot of fun. Last weekend there were 10 maker fairs in America. Yeah. So, you know, we'll have over 135 this year, and one of the biggest will be this weekend. But you know, I'm really happy to see the program and the participants we have for MakerCon to not just talk about the business of making, which I think is important, and the tools, which are important, but also these community and civic aspects of making that I believe will be hallmarks of what we are. And lastly, I kind of view this conference as having an ambition of creating the leaders of the maker movement, of having you share your work with each other and learning from each other. I think actually helps to develop all of us as leaders of something that, you know, I think is very powerful and important. And getting that out into more places and more parts of the community is certainly my goal, and I hope you share that. So let me invite Travis up here. He has a few thoughts on.
Sure, I'd just like to pick up where you left off and kind of issue a challenge to you folks. As Dale said, this started out as an event for maker pros, and yet as time has gone by, making has penetrated more and more of society. So you'll find here museums, you'll find economic development, you'll find libraries and universities. There are lots of different players in this ecosystem, and to the extent that you get out of your comfort zone and get to know a little bit about the challenges these other groups face, the ambitions these other groups have, the more likely it is you're going to be able to collaborate with them and make a difference when you go back home. If you're a makerspace, know your library, know your economic development council, etc. Because together, if you're working in alignment, because you know each other's challenges, you know each other's goals, you can raise all ships. That is, if you can push together in the same direction because you know each other and you can collaborate, you can make a difference. But this is a place where you can make that happen. Get to know these other members of the community so that when you go back, you can be that much more effective. So that's the challenge and my welcome.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Travis. So lastly, we have a really long day. It's going to be fun, but we're going all the way through this, and we have an innovation showcase and a reception and food. And then, if you want, we're doing a debut screening of Print the Legend at 7:30 tonight. And it's really, I saw a preview of it. I mean, I saw the, whatever I call an early screener of it. And it's really a terrific movie. What's kind of fascinating, parts of it were filmed here from last year. So it is both almost following MakerBot and other things, seeing the New York maker community on film in a story that I think is very, very human, very, very interesting. It's not so much just about like technology, but it's about the people that are starting it. So I'm looking forward to seeing how we'll have the director of it on stage to take some questions, and I think it's a very powerful movie, so I hope you'll stay all the way through. But it's forewarned, it's a long day, but we're all here together, so I'm happy to do that, see that. I'd like to introduce our first speaker of the morning, and I couldn't think of anyone better really to get us kick-started. And and Yancey Strickler is the CEO and co-founder of Kickstarter, and I think that everyone knows their important role, and perhaps even to them a surprising role in taking this idea of creative freedom and enabling it by people able to raise small amounts of money and sometimes large amounts of money from the community. So let us all welcome Yancey Strickler.